You know, now that you mention it, let's play a little bit of what happened in Tennessee.
For years, one of your colleagues who was an admitted child molester sat in this chamber, no expulsion. One member sits in this chamber who was found guilty of domestic violence, no expulsion. We had a former speaker sit in this chamber who is now under federal investigation, no expulsion. We have a member still under federal investigation, no expulsion. We had a member pee in another member's chair in this chamber, no expulsion.
So he pretty much laid it out there. You know, these are pretty outrageous accusations. I mean, peeing in a chair, no expulsion. There's something historical going on here, as you know. You talk about it being messaging, but it's also outreach. You also alluded to this in a piece that you talked about, which I thought was very important. And let's play it.
A video or a photo of conservatives actually engaging with conservative, successful Black businessmen? And the answer is they don't exist, Perry. Show me the last time you've seen a conservative on TV, radio, highlight what I call a Bill Cosby family. Mother, father, kid, the daughter is not pregnant, the son is not strung out on drugs. Show me the images, because I give this speech, Perry, called EEM. What the eyes see and the ears hear, the mind believe. I can't see the conservative engaging with Black. I can't hear them engaging with Black. Therefore, my mind can't believe that they want me a part of the movement.
So you've been a Republican for a long time. You see the problems, you see the exclusion, but you're still a member of the party. What keeps you there? What keeps you a Republican?
Great question. Well, one thing I've learned, I've had the opportunity in my life to sit at the feet of legendary figures globally. Raynard Jackson, the first Black mayor of Atlanta, my godfather. Arthur Fletcher, who wrote what we now know as the affirmative action law with the Philadelphia plan that morphed into what we now know as affirmative action. I've known Jesse Jackson since high school. And the easiest thing in the world for me would be to leave the Republican Party. That's easy. A lot of Blacks have left the Republican Party. The sign of a true leader is one who will stay hunkered down and say, I'm not letting them run me out of my party, but rather I'm going to force them to come over to my view. And that's exactly what's happening. And so I have no respect for people who just, tuck their tail and run. Stand and fight. If you truly believe in the messages you claim to believe in, why in the world would you let a few knuckleheads run you out of your own party? Not happening with me. So that's why.
But we're seeing, I mean, this is a historical issue, and we're just seeing just this week, two of the youngest Black representatives in Nashville were run out of their seat. They were expelled. Representative Justin Jones was expelled. Representative Justin Pearson was expelled. The third person, a white woman, Gloria Johnson, who also took part in the protest against gun violence, was not expelled. She was saved by one vote. Um, at what point is it not about tucking your tail and running, but it's about blatant racism, and that the solution is to address it honestly and to deal with it strategically, just like you would deal with any type of issue. Let's say you have cancer, you target it, you apply the medicine, and you eradicate it. So, can the Republican Party benefit from such a strategic move to bring in more of the people who feel left out of the Republican Party?
Well, just think if Martin Luther King had that same attitude. He got tired of getting beat up and he had dogs sicked on him, a water hose unleashed on him, and tired of going to jail. Just think of Malcolm X had the same view. That's thinking what Jesus Christ, as we celebrate Easter tomorrow, what if he had the same attitude? Each of these leaders stood strong in what they believed and were willing to suffer the consequences. And like Martin Luther King told me once, I may not get there with you, but we as a people will get to the promised land. Martin Luther King would be smiling upon us, but he'd be frowning too. He never he could never he would be thrilled at how far blacks have come as far as the workplace, as far as being CEOs, as far as being millionaires and billionaires, but he'd be frowning that we have black folks selling us up the river on issues of homosexuality and the destruction of the black family, which where you come from and Sarah now, the family unit is the glue that keeps a society together. And that happens worldwide. Now, isn't it interesting talking about Tennessee? Everyone talks about the racist aspect of which, listen, I am a Republican and I am going to eviscerate these guys in Tennessee on the Republican side for what they did. But let's bring some context to this whole argument. Isn't it amazing that the guys that the two Justins that got out, number one, Justin, if you want some free media training, I will give it to you. I hate when people sing when they talk. And that grates on me from a communication point of view. It's very distracting and it's just so ghetto. So Justin, if you see this, I will give you free media training. I do that for some of the biggest names in politics, business, and sports.
Which Justin? They're both Justin. It's Justin.
With the clip you showed, the one in the white outfit that was singing while he was talking.
That was
yeah. Now here's the interesting thing. They talk about how they were unfairly treated, which I won't go that far. But have you noticed the media coverage? No one ever talked about the rules they violated on the House floor. Isn't it amazing that the liberal media has lost that daggone mind because they were expelled? But didn't Nancy Pelosi kick Marjorie Taylor Greene and Paul Gosar, my dear friend, off of committees last year over trivial things, as opposed to sending them to a sanction or a slap on the wrist? They removed them from committee. Where was this righteous indignation when Nancy Pelosi did the same thing that the guys in Tennessee just did Thursday? I am just amazed at the hypocrisy there. So if you're looking for sympathy from me, not going to happen. You violated the Tennessee State House rules, and the rules have been on the books for hundreds of years. And for one of those guys to get up there and say he didn't know about it, when you get sworn in as a member of the state legislature, it is your obligation to know the rules of engagement, period. That is your responsibility.
Sure. I can certainly also point to Ilhan Omar, who also faced, she was removed from committee. She got a lot of backlash, and she was accused of being anti-Semitic for simply using a song lyric to address an issue. So, some would say the Democrats have also been punished for certain missteps in the political correctness arena.
But where was the outrage when Pelosi kicked Paul Gosar from Arizona and Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia off of committee over the objection? That's never happened before in the history of our country, where you had the majority party dictate to the minority party who could be on what committee. That's never happened before.
Well, but also a lot of the rhetoric is also pretty new, where people are becoming pretty violent. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been accused of being physically threatening to young people who are protesting gun violence. She's gone in their faces. So, there's a lot of, uncomfortable.
Oh, but so now America's gotten to the point now where we punish people over an accusation. She was not given due process. No one had a hearing to hear out all sides of the story. Nancy Pelosi made she made a unilateral decision. That was no due process.
Yeah, well, she's a tough cookie, and it's.
No. Right is right, wrong is wrong. If it's good for the Democrats with Paul Gosar, Marjorie Taylor Greene, why can't white Republicans do the same thing to members of Tennessee? Now, again, I stipulate that what they did in Tennessee, as far as expelling two, the white girl is exonerated, that was just total racist. But if you remove that from the scenario, I have no problem with what they did. If you took away the stupid racial implication, what they had the right, they have a supermajority in Tennessee. They have a right to remove any person with a 2/3 vote. They got that number vote, so they play by the rules. Now you can not like the rules, change the rules, but they operated within the rules of the Tennessee legislature.
Yeah. Well, but then it goes against the point you make about, standing up and not tucking your tail between your legs and running away. And some of the arguments the members who were expelled offered were the fact that this country was founded on a protest. They went against Great Britain. So it seems to be part of our American culture to, when we want change, we stand up and fight for it, even if
But
we're
here's
not.
the interesting thing that no one's talking about. Both of the Justins in Tennessee, the two blacks who were expelled,
Mhm.
both of them said that they knew they violated the House rules on the floor,
Mhm.
but because they felt that they had to get their message of gun control after the shooting of the kids there,
Yeah.
they had a right to be heard, even in violation of the rules. So if that's your position, you have a right to do what you did, but you also have a responsibility to take responsibility for the consequences of your. And they're sounding like a bunch of women sitting up there. You did the crime, now pay the fine. You did what you had to do in your view, violated the House rules. Now you paid the price. So don't tell me it's racist because they didn't let you get your voice out in violation of the rules. That is not racist. You violated the rules and you were punished for it.
But what they're calling racist is the fact that they're the only two who were punished for it, and not Gloria Johnson, the
Well,
white.
that's true. That's where I agree with them on that. But they went on to say that because the Speaker of the House turned off their microphone because they were not recognized to speak on the House floor, which is against the rules, and they came in with the bullhorns and they were shouted out and ushered off the floor. And they're saying because the issue they wanted to talk about, gun control,
Yeah.
because of the issue that was important to them and not the Republicans, they should be heard in spite of them being in violation of the rule and not being recognized. That's where I draw the line of distinction.